Te tala. Te tala kwesmukalap, and welcome to Meet Me at the Mic. Conversations with me, Carrielynn. This is our monthly podcast as we sit together in conversations with Stala women, our Stala women. We come together to share life experiences, family history, cultural knowledge and understandings and teachings. We explore that rich tapestry and the interwoven connections between each other and our relationships to the land, tying together the past, present, and the future. With warmth, laughter, and wisdom, we invite you to pull up a chair, grab a cup of tea or a cup of water, and join our conversation. On this special day, our guest is Fern Gabriel Sasmalat. Fern, we're so happy to have you and really excited for what's in front of us and the potential for where we could go in our conversation today. I would love to first have you introduce yourself for our lovely listeners today.
Sasmalat tosqui tulisuk olto. Idisquo kuts eats kuts lama tulawale CM. Sasmalat is my name, and I come from Kwantlen, and that's where the saltwater and the freshwater meet in the New Westminster area, Swayamach, where the story starts, is what that place name means to our people. I can only explain in our language how I feel to see you this day.
Beautiful. Oh, and I see you're using our upriver dialect. Oh, nice.
Because that's traditionally and culturally, that's what I am to do. I switch the dialects. And as a language learner, which I'll be for the rest of my life, I'm going to keep that promise to myself is wherever I go, I learn. And I start with just the thank you. If I went to Campbell River for a soccer tournament, I will say to all the stores I go into, Gela Klasla, when I leave, which is thank you. To start, right?
Awesome.
You got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Thank you is a beautiful place to start. And there's probably half a dozen thank yous in every dialect or more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Different ways of saying thank you for sure. We have like one for Siatala, grateful to you. Mm-hmm. And then the downriver Haichka is like finished. Finished you, like when you finish speaking. It's just something that I got to stop using because I don't stop talking.
You haven't Haichka yet? We haven't hiked.
Yeah.
Beautiful. With all that's going on and your busy schedule, I want to express that gratitude, Chithama, for coming and being with us. Also want to acknowledge that there's this wave of grief in our Hualmach communities this week in particular. And I'd like to ask if you could share us a prayer in your own way to ground us and pull us in.
Absolutely. Oh. That's one thing I understand with being the age that I am and living on this land is that our people are suffering compounded grief. And I don't know how to say it in Hulkamelam, but I can say it in Hunkaminam. Ni wachalta ta shonam tatstilam. She told me that this one is my song because it has to be sung from a broken heart. This song, it comes from Steatlas. It's the true love song. I have to stand, but please stay seated. Atzitzatziem thihom hoinem ch awitsin komkomen awitsin smuxenen awitsin smethenen itzen nachin each quetzitanis hammen ada anta wa anta exiesh. There's two dialects there. Hunk aminum in Intlakamakchin.
Ooh.
Exiesh is how my mom used to say amen, but it means so it will be good. And the prayer is, I'm humbling myself before the Creator. I am weak and I am small. And I asked for the Creator to watch out for my greatest enemy. It's always been me. It's me. So,
Anta.
What anta?
What anta?
Yeah.
Chitama. Chitama tsal. Such a grounding thing. And a great way to start. and to understand that it takes your life experience to sing that song, right? Really helps me feel it.
You just squell well.
Ooh, yeah. So, Fern, I hear good things about your language work, and when we chatted briefly over the phone, you'd mentioned that you had taken up a second master's.
No, this is my first run through with masters. It's a lot of people think I'm doing linguistics. I learned linguistically, but I never taken linguistics. The woman that I work for, Dr. Patricia Shaw at University of British Columbia, anytime I had a question, she would go, that sounds like a research question. And that's all I've been doing. I've been working in Hunk Aminum language revitalization for 25 years.
Wow.
And so much work has went into this language revitalization process, and a lot of work still continues to this day as we can see what is happening in Hulkamelum. Hulkamelum called Hulkamilam called my teacher is my first cousin, Mary Stewart, and she's the one who made us. There was 3 of us from Kwantlen that she made. You're going to take this. You're going to take the next course. So we have 3rd year Hulkamilam.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of my baby cousins, and who's like a little sister, and my daughter Jadelyn Campbell, who is registered with Musqueam First Nation, but it just goes to show the connections that all of us have, the marital connections, the family connections from Yale to the mouth of the river. And I wanted her to learn both dialects. And she has made me a grandmother. So I'm a Cecila now.
Congratulations.
Cecila, which is in both dialects, and easy and fun to say. So
Funner to be, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, it's goals, something to strive for.
Beautiful.
And when he was born, I thought he was going to be a she. But when he was born, he's the why I do the work that I do. Because it only took 1 generation for our people to lose the dialect through abuse and all these things that the late Arthur Stogan, he was a Shwanam. He was here at Kakalitha. Is it Kokali? How they
Kwakwalitha.
Kwakwalitha. He was here at the residential school, and one of the nuns put pins on his tongue when he was speaking his dialect, and he was only 4. I share that truth with students in the mainstream education. I tell them that truth, and I say to those students, if a 4-year-old can survive that, you can sit and listen to it. Because they need to hear that truth. I said, this is the very dialect I'm teaching you now. So that's demonstrative of resilience and who we are as human beings. That's for sure. The hulmuch, kwam, iam,
So language revitalization, I was thinking about how some of us don't know where to begin. And there's young people in our community in Chiam, late Chiam Kwalstad. This is where I'm from, where I live. The young people have started a council. And it's a beautiful thing. They've decided for themselves they're going to get together. And when they got together, they decided to have a bit of a loose constitution. That was their first agenda item. And then they sent their constitution to Chief and Council and said, here we are. And one of the things that they're interested in is language. They came and asked if I could help with that. And my areas, I have very specific areas of interest. And I haven't actually attended university, but I believe that there's plenty of resources, but both audio and in text and people that we can begin to pick these things up. Even the Stalo Shuli website is a wealth of knowledge, and it continues to build.
Absolutely.
But with all your experience, and your also experience in working with young people, where do you like to begin?
We all got to start somewhere, and just what those young people are doing, and it makes me so happy. To hear that you say the kids are taking it upon themselves, because it only took 1 generation. It's taking 3 generations to get it back, and short story long.
We're part of it.
Because I still play soccer. I started 8 years old at Seabird Island, and I was going around like a couple years ago saying it's my 50-year anniversary, and good friend Zelda Williams from Stateless brought a cake. We celebrated with a cake with my anniversary, 50-year anniversary, for my first love was soccer. Oh. It's always my first love. And I was 8 years old when I started. And now as I'm playing now, I get picked up to play goalie, like for whoever asks me. And right now it's Stalo, the Stalo woman. So if I'm playing for Musqueam, I cheer in Hunkaminam. If I'm playing for Stalo, I cheer in Hulkamelum.
Cool.
For the girls, just so they can hear the language. But to see now what the young people are wearing, their place names on their jerseys, and the artwork on their jerseys is just makes me so happy to see that, because back in the day that wasn't happening when I first started. But it starts with I think with the cultural resurgence. You know, you tattooing this land with your artwork. I mean, I follow you on your social media and just, yes. Because my niece and my baby sister are doing the same thing as is my nephew, Fern Gabriel. Cool. Carries name Kula Huston that he got from Musqueam. And he's living in Snuneymuch, which means the laughing people. But he loves it there, and he's tattooed the land as well. So with cultural resurgent comes the language revitalization, and it goes hand in hand, because artists don't just put up a beautiful piece of art and go, hey, there it is, see you later. You know, there's a story behind it.
Right.
And you're hearing I'm hearing the language when people are speaking. My baby sister has always asked for the language to go into her work, and she's the first one in Kwantlen to do that. Like, she carries the name Koititza, which is Ntlakam Jean. Koititza. And she got that right from birth, so she was destined to do good things. And this cultural resurgence and language revitalization, again, demonstrative of the resilience of our people from Yale to the mouth of the river. And I'm not sure what the question was anymore.
We're looking at
the
these
children.
young people and thinking where to begin. I feel like some have expressed this desire to begin somewhere, but also like hesitant to really wrap their throat and their tongue around the dialect itself. And so building comfort and a willingness, that's kind of where I'm thinking to begin, but we're sitting with an expert here or someone like yourself, many, many years of experience. What have you found?
There was, I came home to Kwantlen, and they wanted the language for credit, and I taught it linguistically. Didn't go well.
Okay.
So I realized
that off my list.
Yeah, teaching them to read it, and that's what gets our people like nervous. Is what I've just experienced, and I'm just gonna go with this thought right now. Somebody had to learn linguistically. I realize now why it had to be me. Because it's been a journey, and I learned the hard way, and that's the best way. Now there's different methods that I use. There's rhythm and song. A swell tulsi ea licho ale. You say setzel ea, okay?
Okay.
A swell tulsi ea licho ea.
Tetzel A.
A swell tulsi ea licho ea.
Tetzel A.
A swell tulsi ea. A swell tulsi ea. A swell tulsi ea licho ea.
Tetzel A.
Oh, setzel A. So you can incorporate different with that. You can incorporate different responses in that, and it's fun, and people are laughing. And there's also another method called total physical response, which I learned from the Shwapmukjeen people, and I'll tell you why this method works. when I went back for the third year. So I went back for every year because the boss at the time at Langley School District told me to go. He came from the Haida. He lived with the Haida Gwaii, so he's related to the Haida Gwaii people. So he's witnessing what they're doing with their work.
Cool.
And those isolated communities have their culture. Like just the experience that I've heard other people talk about with the Haida Gwaii. You're not in like Queen Charlotte Islands. You're not in part of Canada. You're in Haida Gwaii, demonstrating the sovereign nation, right? And so they have everybody learning Haida, the language. And then there's the arguments of dialects, and that's fine. Yeah. It's okay.
It's healthy.
It's healthy. Yes. Like the Sanchal. I was in short story long. I was in Duncan, and I was walking along, and this elder greeted me in Hulkaminam, and I go, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to greet him back anyways in Hulkaminam. So I did. I responded back, Itanias, Itanawa. And he didn't respond. He just hugged me, and he was so happy to hear me speaking. I go, Hulkaminam kan, and he goes, I know you just spoke Hunkaminam, but it's just beautiful to see. And then there was another fluent speaker there, and he teaches Sanchothan. He's fluent in Sanchothan. It just, it's Anich people's language. And they started arguing about there are too many of the Sanchothan people are speaking Hulkaminam, and I was going, because I was right there, because that guy was still hugging me. I was just like watching them in awe, and I go, this is a great argument, a great argument to have. I said, I wish we had this problem where people are arguing on what dialect you should speak, and that's something I'm going to strive for.
And more dialects.
Absolutely. So I call the Hulkaminam, Hunkaminam, and Hulkaminam our sister dialects. Okay. Yeah, because they're traveling. I was at a funeral for the late Gord Hall, and that really impacted me. I didn't realize how badly it did, and it's because of the sports. They were Scout KL was a really good team, and back in the day, the kid when we were a couple of my sisters were attracted to the Hull boys, and yeah, I'm tattling. Anyways, and if we were to go anywhere, we all had to go, and I was like angry because I don't want to go watch baseball. That's like watching paint dry.
Even if it's good?
I didn't know. Oh, Carrielynn. My first love is soccer, and I was probably like 12 or 13 back then. And I'm like, wow, these guys are good. And it was all the Hall boys, how quick they would throw the ball to each other, not even warning each other. Well, this thing's coming at them like fast. It was beautiful. And I thought about that. I really thought about the sports and our culture, the sports that really, and somebody at UBC, and I forget her name, where they came from, but they did culture and sports as their master's thesis. It was brilliant.
Did you read it?
She presented it.
Sort of
Yeah. So all those things will be online now, and how they, because it's either basketball, soccer, slow pitch, fast pitch, hockey, or lacrosse for our people, and to couple that with culture and the nation, like representing nation, what it does for our young people. And that's why I talked about soccer, like seeing our young people learning so much because of that peace, that pride, that pride that they have in themselves. Total physical response, getting back to that, total physical response is moving to the verb. and the action and moving around the room, and people have a good time, and people like will start to come into the classroom, if you will, when they hear people laughing and having a good time.
Yeah.
And what are you doing? We're learning our language, you know. So rhythm and song is one way, the song I just sang to you, and the other one would be like imach, amit, skilach, stand. So stand, sit, walk, and then those would be a good way for those that are bashful. You know, the bashful people that don't want to really speak but want to learn, because then they learn by hearing, and that is scaffold learning. They're building on top of their learning. But the fun way is right now is the songs and singing that greeting song and adding in all those other ones like I'm busy, I'm sad, I'm tired, and while you're doing that singing piece, but the movement is another thing, because it gets us off the couch and into a gathering space, and this is probably the most healthy thing you can do, is gather in one area and learn your language and speak your language.
Amazing.
Sing the songs.
Yeah, again and again. Awesome. I'm listening to you reference soccer a couple of times, and I'm thinking, like, I did play a bit of stalo soccer, and we weren't, when I was playing in my teens, we weren't really strong culturally in some senses then as the teenagers are now. But we were together, and I think about the family dynamics, and the understanding how and when to talk to people younger, older, and also the other values that went into being a team or traveling together, and the things that happen behind the scenes, and how soccer and other sports really held space for a long time. That was cultural space in a lot of ways. Like the classic iceberg describes the visual culture on the surface and the many layers of culture beneath. And I feel like stalo soccer is just many things checked off the list that are beneath the surface. And that's such a beautiful thing to have kind of tucked it in there. It went in there naturally, and then stayed. So much of it stayed. I love that resilience in there.
Yeah, and it's a huge part of it is love. You know, driving here, I was listening to my boomer music and thinking about the old Squayella tournament from the Jimmy tournament. That was my favorite tournament, because everybody showed up, and we used to get here early. My family, because we had a family team, we used to because my dad had to have a really good parking spot. And he parked.
Did he get it, though?
He did. We got up early to get there early, and I would wait for everyone to pull in all these beautiful muscle cars back in the day that all our people were driving, and then they would lift up their hoods, and I'd go running over, because I was that little nosy, busybody kid that talked everyone's ear off. And just not knowing anything about cars, but they were beautiful cars, all these beautiful vehicles that pulled in, like these old Mustangs, these old Chevys, the vans. Yeah. The vans are all souped up with
deadly vans.
Deadly.
Deadliest.
Excuse me, yes. And they were had designs on, like the beautiful designs on them. They were beautiful vehicles. But anyways, that's it. And just seeing everybody, because everybody was just at that tournament, at that field, and people were laying around, you know, having a beautiful summer day, and it was the last tournament of the summer, And I'll never forget 10cc was playing on the radio, and I was sitting in the back of the van, and I was waving because we would wait till everybody was going home. Everybody had left. It was the end of the tournament, and because my dad would party with the older people and
First to arrive, last to leave.
yes, and and that's when you know somebody wants to be there. They're first there and last to leave, right? So, and I remember crying in the back of the our family van, going, because I really loved and cared about. And these are our people. Like I would be like, I have to wait till the next tournament. Yeah. I was already missing them, and I'll never forget that. I tried to post that on Facebook, and I got one time with the song, and I got made fun of, and I deleted it. I go, I know,
I won't make fun of you.
No, not you. It was a older man, Indigenous man, and that's interesting, Carrie, that when we were playing soccer, when women first came onto the scene, we were made fun of.
No way.
Yes, men on the sidelines were making fun of us. And I asked a few of the women, they remember that. We were being, or certain women that were, very beautiful, were objectified and catcalling, and it was really bad.
When did that stop?
Oh,
you did your work. Must have. The ones who took the brunt of that, really.
I'm going to say that probably stopped when we were when I was in my 20s, I think. Yeah. I never thought of that.
I think I don't hear that from our girls now, that they're treated that way.
Yeah.
But it was the beginning of something, right?
Yeah, because women were coming. I always played with adults because there was no youth back in the day. You could sure tell who's played youth soccer. And in growing up, I never had that. I've always had to play with women's teams. And just to see that, when I see on Facebook, sometimes I get FOMO. That's what the kids say.
Fear of missing out. For the audience, fear of missing out.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a youth tournament, and the energy that's put on these kids and how they're celebrated is under fives, under 10s.
Oh, it's adorable.
Absolutely.
They get
and
the
under
truck ride and the waves and the and
absolutely
the party and the honking through the communities.
Oh my God, that's what I mean of this, that sense of pride. Because Kwantlen, we had a team at one point. Now it's there's just 3 of us that play. We can't even field a 5-a-side co-ed team.
So you're coming out this way to play?
I was playing out. Yes, yeah. I was playing. I'm playing with the Chilliwack 7-a-side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I got busy, but the first, I was, I'm such a growly driver. I was getting upset with the drive out here because of the influx of the population. Now there's so much.
It's always busy.
Traffic, yeah. But when I got here, I couldn't stop staring at the mountains. They're so beautiful here. It's absolutely beautiful. And then I'd play my game. And then I would sit around and the most asked question of me when I was out here, what are you doing out here? What are you doing out here? Even at the gas station. And I was like, that's awesome. And just admiring it. Yamach talatamo. Beautiful, this land.
Iyamach talatamo.
I'm just guessing. It's got to be.
Yeah, tla, tala.
Yeah. Tla, this land.
There's the same.
Yeah. That's
statita, tla, tala.
So what I've learned is halkamelam, how our determiners are interchangeable.
Oh.
And our determiners, we must have 8 determiners. So it's in when I was doing the language, I was going tuk'a, thuk'a, alum, and that's he, her, she, or
They.
he, him, she, her,
They.
them. And I go, it's right in our language.
Yeah.
For the
Tutla, Sutla,
Yeah.
Utlalam, upriver.
Yeah.
Yeah, Utlalam. It's gender neutral. Beautiful.
And I said that out loud. I go, oh, it's right in our language.
Nice.
And it's beautiful because there's people who belong to the LGBTQ plus community, and I'm an ally, and they are of us as well. You know, that inclusion piece.
It's so important. It's so important. It's not a fad or a time of the year. And I'm looking at your T-shirt, which is a advocacy piece as well, advocacy artwork, missing murdered Indigenous women.
Absolutely.
And I'm thinking a little bit about your advocacy work and the spokesperson that you are, and how important it is to keep that moving forward, keep that fire lit, and find different ways. What are some of your recent events that you've either ignited or taken part in?
Thank you. I haven't ignited anything. There's a nonprofit organization in Langley with these amazing women, as usual. The women are doing all the work. Our Indigenous women, and great work. Rematriation, for sure.
Rematriation.
And I've been asked to speak because I'm from Kwantlen, and I make sure I do my research. I don't want to just show up to do a welcome, and then that's what they asked me to do a welcome. And I'm going to speak on this, and I did, and I made sure I that one year I provided resources. It's not annotated bibliography yet, but it will be. And I also shared with you on your Facebook Messenger. It's called the Piggy Palace, and it is done by Mr. Ballin. I follow him on YouTube. Now he has he's got an enterprise now, but he is amazing at what he does. He talks about the strange, dark, and mysterious, and delivers it all in story format. Really amazing.
Cool.
He is cool, and he fact checks everything. So that's why I really like. He talked about Robert Picton in this, and this is after that I had already provided all those other resources. But now I'm sharing this, and I do have these resources available for people to read, because we should be way past awareness. Violence in this society, in this paternalistic society that we live in, women of color know what kind of dangerous society we live in a violent society. Indigenous women are the first to be abused. And then second, if we're going in order, second is Asian women, and then lastly is the South Asian women are living in a dangerous society, and that needs to be talked about. I didn't like the way Langley Advance, I'm tattling again. Langley Advance or Langley Times was writing up about our paper, about this serious situation that of missing and murdered Indigenous women, and Two-Spirit, the vulnerable society. That I didn't like the way she was writing. It was a female journalist that was writing about it, and I was thinking, of all people, she should be our sister friend in this work. So I said, quote unquote, I'm quoting myself, I'm going cultural on their asses. And I got a whole bunch of quarters and loonies and money out of my own pocket, brought that all, and told my daughter to make sure you give the money to the people that are going to hand out all the money. And I asked all the white men. I don't think it's an insult, because nobody gets offended when I say that, right? I asked all the white men to come up, and they all did. They all stood right up there, even a cop. I said, I want you all to do this. This is called Huilemstam. Huilemstam, I think it's here.
Huilemstam.
Huilem.
Subtle accent shift. Yeah. They were your witnesses?
I asked them to be witnesses and to hold the newspaper accountable because the media does so much harm. And that person wasn't back the next year. I didn't read the article, but for this year, and I didn't read the one from last year either because I just wanted it to be our way. And I asked all the I asked for volunteer white men to come up and read from first person's perspective of what happened to these women.
It sounds like you've got some great avenues. Like you just see something that needs to be done, and you get in there. And I've had some really negative experiences, political and personal and family experiences with the media, and I generally feel like they're not really serving our people.
No,
they're serving whoever pays for them, I suppose.
Absolutely.
And then to really get down to where the news is, a lot of it happens between women. And that's that true news. And my mom sent me this little video about what gossip, or what the origin of the word gossip. And I can't quite remember how it was pronounced, but we pronounce it like English-speaking people when we say gossip. But the origin of it was about the way that women talked about what was going on around them, who they should be careful of, who they shouldn't be protecting, and who they should be protecting. And that's such a valuable way of appreciating gossip, right? We need our aunties to tell us who to be careful of, and we need our aunties to advocate and protect. And I'm really grateful you're doing that, and that you're led. You must be led in a way to do that, and you're following that, and giving an example, really giving an example to others to just get up and do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you make a ceremony out of it, and then who sees it? The ancestors see it.
That's why, and thank you for saying that about the ants huinas. Is hunkaminam for the ancestors. Because I used to feel alone, but I know I'm not anymore. And it's interesting you have brought all this up because it's the British women that came here, like British properties, smack dab in the middle of our people's land, and they become displaced. But British properties, all those British women, those Victorian snobs, came in and perpetuated racism. It was the white women who did that work, because they would, if they had a gathering, they would tell their, if their white husbands were buddies with an Indigenous man from Squamish, for example, who was a well-respected person that they loved, the woman would go, but he's not of good social standing, dear, and then that would perpetuate those racist attitudes. Now, having said that about now our aunties, I did have a conversation with somebody, and I thought this was really interesting because of how dismissive of what has happened to the women in our family. And I'll give you an example of what I said to her. I said, my mom used to lock the door at night, but she didn't know she was locking the predators in the home. So, and I speak from experience, and I have to do this work because I want those ones that have caused harm to say, oh boy, did we ever pick on the wrong woman? And that silence, and I said to her, who's an older family member, I go, that silence didn't help any one of us at all. It perpetuated that very dangerous behavior that has actually killed women. That has killed our women. whether they've done it with their own hand or their own. Mm-hmm. And that's a really tough topic to talk about, but we have to. Again, my grandson is the reason why. I mean, people think that single mothers think that they need a man in the house to teach their son how to be a man. It's not. It's our women. Our women taught our young men how to be strong young men. And you can tell who goes in our young men, you can tell who goes to auntie and to talk to auntie. And it makes me happy. I go, that's rematriation, right?
Yeah. We have gatherings with the Lay Lookout. We have gatherings every now and then, as you know, and have attended, where we have really important discussions. And I think of how powerful it would be to bring voice either on a stage, facilitated on a stage, or table by table, where we're openly having those important discussions, calling the people in, right, and the possible transformations that could take place there, accountability that could take place there.
Absolutely.
And the Lay Lookout is bringing women from all over the land together, and some of it's light and self-care and fun, but some of it is really that deep, important work that's going to ripple through the generations, and that we're going to make a note of that. I think it's really good to have you so confidently say where it comes from and what you've done. A lot of us have been trained to be silent, or trained to be empathizers. And it's a really scary thing to say in front of a group of people, because there's a silent agreement to continue to be empathizers, and it turns into us and them really fast.
Absolutely.
And so my own personal life experience and a bit of a turn in my recent years, I have to admit that I was trained. And I have to admit how hard it was to change inside myself. I was silent about myself. I was silent about others, or silent to a degree. And so even this conversation, right? Even this conversation in the platforms where it travels, or for you and me alone, I feel moved. Yeah.
Good. It's good to hear. When I came out here to play soccer, I made one of the young women take a selfie of us. She's tall and beautiful and long reach. And my Facebook hashtag was in Hulkamelam, women empowering women. So and then Setzel A, it's all week. Slaloshi. And I butchered that. I'm trying to say women in Hulkamelam. Slashali.
Salsali.
Slashali. So, because it's so important for us women to stick together. And the reason why I pulled all those men at that gathering in Langley, all the Caucasian men up, is because I said we need white male allies. We do. Because what our Indigenous men, and there's some good men out there, but what some of our Indigenous men, the ones that are causing harm to Indigenous women, what they're doing is teaching white men how to treat us. They're teaching them. And I'm often reluctant to say that out loud, because I'm like, I'm standing here alone and I'm talking like this, but I have to remember I'm not alone. The ancestors are behind me, and that's that truth-telling, the truth-telling, because we need our women to get out of those abusive relationships and stand in their power. Because what I've noticed is when we're doing reconciliation work, who's sitting at the table, who's rolling up their sleeves to do that work? It's the women. It's all women, and that really makes me happy, because we're not going to be silenced. When I did my came back from UBC, it was the most healing experience I've ever had in my life. Is to predominantly all women doing the work, and all these things that they are doing. Are out there. They're putting it out there. One of them is, that teachers pay teachers website that is just causing more harm. There's actually Hulkamelam lessons on there. I haven't looked, but it's called Teachers Pay Teachers. And one of the women had said she wanted her own website, so we can all double check on it. Like, is this pass everybody? Is this okay? Instead of doing this, perpetuating those indigeneity behaviors is what it's doing.
Yeah, because the education system does a lot of that.
Yeah, because those the totem poles on with paper towel rolls have to stop. People, stop it.
They eat.
Or I do that, and the teacher will go, I won't use it then, because I do the old.
But what do they use? That's what they say when I'm in those conversations, because I'm at schools and they want to have conversations about art and you're an artist, come teach our kids, and I say I don't teach. That's not what I do.
Yeah.
What do you have for resources? And they point out their resources, and we're not totemizing and we're not tokenizing and we're not providing pan-Indigenous anymore. And there's this genuine frustration for wanting to provide something good but not having something ready, or not being comfortable enough to present something outside of their realm of understanding. And that's fair too. So I'm really happy to see that you're moving through your master's program into that realm. And looking forward to these resources.
Yeah. Oh, well, and that's the thing. It's almost like we can't get it fast enough because it's non-Indigenous are going, come on, we need all this.
Well, they're mandated for it,
too. And then they're going, well, how am I supposed to go through this? What if I get it wrong? So and I get that all the time. It's disrespectful. What if we get it wrong? And I go, but what if you get it right? What if you do get it wrong? And how do you correct yourself?
That's a teachable moment.
Absolutely.
And schools have turned it around. There was the 6 Cedars curriculum that was out for a little while, and I said, oh my, they wanted me to paint it on a school. And I said, the eagle doesn't mean that to me, and the beaver doesn't mean that to me. I don't agree with everybody believing the same thing. This family might come from a beaver, and this one might, and the schools would say, well, this is what we're working with. And I said, I don't agree, you know. And 2 years later, that whole thing was scrapped. No more 6 Cedars. They removed it from the curriculum. And I said, out of curiosity, why? And the response I got was that it was like tokenizing tokens, tokenizing someone's knowledge. And where did it even come from? And she said, oh, I don't know, Pinterest. Oh. Well, we certainly shouldn't be getting our Indigenous curriculum from Pinterest. Yeah. That's not the woman quality check we're looking for.
Yeah, this woman is Simshan, and she's vetting that work, and she wants to start her own. Wow. And this is like the capstone, because I've been witness to capstones like last year and this year, and just to witness what these people are doing, it gets better and better every year. And we'll have those resources.
Yes.
Yeah, and we can have those uncomfortable conversations. Like I say,
they'll bring people together.
Yeah, it should.
And hopefully it will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Values are at the center of it. Yeah. And when we put our values on the table, so often we're surprised by how similar they are.
Absolutely. And that's why I talked about love in the soccer tournaments. Like Pat Charlie, I don't know if I'm allowed to name names, but she's somebody I look up to as a cultural leader in my
100%,
eyes, and somebody who means business, and somebody that I want to impress all the time with my behavior, and it's hard to behave. So when I was playing in Siebert, this last Siebert tournament, she goes, "You make me want to strap on my boots." And I laughed really hard. We hugged each other. And I said, "Yeah, we played against each other. I had to play against her when she was Chehalis Chieftains. They were the A team. Oh. They were the good team. That was the team to beat." She played on them, that team. They were purple. They had purple jerseys. They were called Chehalis Chieftains. And it's interesting now. You hear our language come back with the names of the teams. And anyways, I said to her, I go, "Oh, your granddaughters are awesome," because these second and third generation players are so amazing. You can really tell that the focus is like that's love and support that these young people have in sport. And it's confidence building, because I think whatever, like on the pitch, like how much work that you do on the pitch, how hardworking you are on the pitch, you're going to be like that off the pitch as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It's building mental stamina.
Absolutely.
Training. Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. We are coming close to our time here, and I feel like we could certainly keep going. But I think about how you're like you're carrying forward so much language with you, and within those within the language and the little words inside the words are like these little light bulbs come on sometimes. And I appreciate them so much. They offer us these worldviews. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to, we have guests of all ages, listeners of all ages. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us before we go?
What I'm hearing about what young people from Yale to the mouth of the river are doing with their culture. Just the pride that I have when I see what they are doing with their culture, and how much pride it puts in them, and how like the success in school. Because I always say I never had a Fern when I was younger. I never had anybody to support me growing up, but I do now. And it makes a difference for all of us, because I'm still in education. So school was always a safe place, even though I was getting beat up and at home and at school, because I was in a public school. My mom went to residential school. My dad went to residential school. And I went to public school. And we all heard those horror stories. But I'm teaching at the school that it was very abusive, and I talk about it quite openly, and I have all I needed was one teacher to get as an ally, and I have more than that. And the work that we are doing in that elementary school, that decolonizing, indigenizing space, is coming through with the language. Just greet in the language. Aswale, introduce yourself in the language. Incorporate it in everything that you do. Hulkamelam is doing amazing work. After taking third year with my cousin Mary Stewart, I heard that we were supposed to do the 700 level. And if there was a 700 level, she would have made me. But I said, my master's starts soon. And so I couldn't do it anyway. So that's just the way it is. And I'm glad it was, because I'm on my right path. I'm doing the right things right now with my journey, my education journey, and healing along the way. The most healing course that I did was when just coming back from UBC just this last week. And it was place-based learning. And it was so healing. And I interwove all of that into my paper. And I ended up with 99% in that course.
Whoa.
I know. And I got teased by my bosses. Like, how come you missed out 1%? And anyways, I was just thinking about the, like, incorporate language wherever you can. When I go to soccer tournaments, when people win, they're gathering around in a big circle and they're singing the songs, and I'm watching people dance and they're singing the songs of their land. Love it. I love it. And these gatherings have encouraged our people. Mm-hmm. It certainly has done a lot for me. And I think that's why I keep going back to the soccer pitch. I keep getting picked up. That's what I call it.
Still good.
Yeah, right? Oh, I love it. I love every moment of it. And I always say that to my daughter. My kids make fun of me. And they go, hey, Mom, you want that scooter? Well, you go to back to your room. And I'd laugh. If we're gone away to a tournament, and I always say, always make me walk. Always ask me to play. And this is coming here is like coming home, like that feeling. And I don't even know where the soccer fields would be now. Like the old Jimmy, we called it the Jimmy Reserve, the Jimmy tournament, and all of the Jimmies were good players, and all the players around here are good. And it's great to see that. And I always wanted young women to be empowered through their culture, their language, their sports,
Beautiful.
Beautiful to see that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Iamach.
Iamach slally.
Slally.
My heart is full. Yeah. And I appreciate that you made time for us. Busy world.
Absolutely.
Busy life, lots of priorities, mother, grandmother, teacher, learner.
Absolutely.
Soccer player.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
And I got to go fishing, so soccer's out for a bit. I got asked to go play at a tournament, and it's end of this month in Kamloops, and I said, I was almost, I got FOMO again.
Go get some sockeye.
But I have to, that's probably why I'm playing soccer, so I can go fishing now, because
I work out so I can fish as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
We got to stay fit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We do need to wrap up. We've arrived at the end of our words, but thanking everybody for tuning in, and Sasmalot, Yashu Kwasai, and to everybody, Yashu Kwasai Chatwalap.
Yashu Kwasai.
Ya